Suhuyini, for example, last week, when we had to discuss the Auditor General Special Report on COVID-19, I brought in, a president from somewhere else who said, because you have spent COVID-19 money on travel, get out of my cabinet, and ensure that, many people got arrested, and prosecuted over this matter. Well, this week we also heard that he's also reduced his ministerial portfolio or ministers because of the, situations. And I was reminded that if the auditor does a report, you don't expect the president to come and grandstand and say, auditor has found you, so you are in trouble. Kokwa Jumamenu, you have been found to have done this, so get out. It should allow the processes to work, including Public Accounts Committee. It's not doing those things publicly by the president an indication that he is not fighting corruption. The systems are there.
Well, Samson, I agree with Kofi that Newsfile time is very short. I would have loved to have this conversation under 3 themes.
Get to the jugular.
I mean, the general perspective of corruption in this country. Then you look at the political perspective. Political party funding, for example, becomes crucial in such a discussion. Then you can now look at the specifics. That is, in terms of parties, regimes, and conduct of people who lead those parties, and how that impact on this fight. But I'll just say that, because of lack of time, that this government, for some of us who believe that it was going to fail, we are even shocked at the outstanding failure. I mean, even for those of us who didn't expect anything from this government, it is proven to be the worst ever in the First Republic. Look, our education sector is messed up, and you cannot rule out corruption in that mess up. You look at unemployment rate. It has ballooned to double digits, now. You have youth unemployment over 30%. You look at, cost of living. Never before have we had to pay so much for very basic things. Infrastructure deficit has increased. And corruption. They have been stuck at the worst performance of the previous governments. In fact, the previous government's worst performance is where they have been stuck at. 43, out of 100. And it is not just based on what we perceive. It is what we know the reality is. And in fact, if we were even going to do this measurement, this ranking, based on the reality, we will be worse. So perhaps they are even lucky that this is based on perception. Look, at the time that Ghana was ranked 43, which was considered the worst in 2016, you had a minister of state resigning because there was a bus branding under her watch. Here we are, you have, as Martin is telling us, the appointee at the presidency, and she's not the first one, and it doesn't look like she'll be the last appointee of the presidency. That will be insulated from clear commissions that have aided or have led to corrupt activity. And people think it is grandstanding that we expect from the president. Yes, if the president doesn't have to grandstand to tell us that audit findings against Kokwa Jumamenu is so bad that he must step aside, then he should not also be the one telling us that Jumamenu is such a hard worker and people just hate him. When he does that, he sets the tone for all other institutions that are expected to work under him. That's why our people say that the fish starts rotting from the head.
That's it.
The gold mining company owned by his regional chairman. What's the name? Akonta Mining.
Chairman Wuntumi.
Why should it lie in his mouth to come and tell us when there is evidence and report that that company is engaged in mining in a forest reserve, that it is not mining in a forest reserve.
That indictment was actually by the government.
By the same government institutions of state that he says we should allow to work. And we should look to those areas to see the evidence of his fight. Yet he comes out, he will not grandstand to sack the people and to dismiss people, but he will grandstand in defense of those people. I mean, that is why I'm saying that for those of us who even believe that this government was up to no good and President Akufo-Addo and his vice president were not the right people to be given the mandate to rule, we are astonished by their outstanding failure.
Let's listen.